Hi, this is Sumi from Jack Monkey Games, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really cool handout, a spellbook for your mage. Now, where this comes in handy is that if your mages are anything like mine, they're always checking their spells, and it drives me nuts because some of the spells are in the core rulebook, and I'm like, I need that. As a GM, I need that. Well, with this, what you could do is that you can print out the spells in a really cool looking book, so they have one place to go for all of it. We'll go in the right direction. There we go. There's even room to make some of their own. It's just a simple handout, but it's going to keep that particular player out of your core book when you really need it, because they're always researching their spells. Now, if you want a copy of this, I'll provide the links up in the corner here, and download it for free. I've made it, Creative Commons, so download it, use it, it's free. Print out as many as you want. The only thing I ask is, don't sell it. Well, if you do, let me know.
I'm a very patient person.
A body falls past the window.
Whatever.
And you put it down and you feel like shaky all over. Both your hands are covered. Immediately peg him as a cogman.
So we've known each other for years.
It's Sumeshi. One of the knives is missing from a garter hilt because it is being pressed to your throat.
Damn.
We had a...
Oh my God!
So you took money from him, huh?
We talked about this earlier.
Recently attacked by the forces of the American Confederation.
Yeah.
Are you constantly checking for traps?
The Steamrollers Adventure Podcast is available at rigstories.com or on iTunes. You can also get it at Stitcher and Google Play.
Okay, let me flip this around. Well, there we go. Okay, hey folks, I'm Kevin C. Mason from Jack Monkey Games, and I am currently in production of a new card game called Invoke. We're hoping to make it to Kickstarter probably August, if not sooner. We've actually been playtesting Invoke for several years. In fact, I even started working on it before we even moved to Australia. So what I've been doing is we've been looking at the artwork and I'm going, I hate it. Well, fortunately I'm an artist, so I can start from scratch. So what we're doing is that we wanted to have a more organic feel to it, and so I'm actually hand painting the symbols using a Japanese calligraphy techniques, though this is a far step away from. We're not actually using any Japanese or Chinese symbols. These are all things that we've been working on to have their own unique feel. It's just that we're using the brush strokes because we like the organic and raw feel that it gives. So I'm going to do a couple here. I'm working on the symbol for focus or for target. This is an important symbol because it's almost like an entire suit. In the card game, you have to combine like between 2 to 4 cards to do something. So, an example, in order to capture someone's stones, because the stones are the main targets, they're kind of like hit points. You would have to do target life stone, move left, and then add an exponent to it, and then it would move over. So it requires multiple cards. So the target symbol is very, very important. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim this down so you guys can actually see. So if anyone has actually ever done Sumi or Japanese painting, it's not as easy as it looks. It's one of those things where I think my landlord, because this whole workshop was filled with quote magic symbols, like on the chalkboard. In fact, you're gonna. Can you imagine the landlord coming to seeing this? Except for I also had it drawn on the ground. I mean, it was for someone who doesn't actually believe in magic. Walking in here looked really creepy, which was kind of cool. You know, it kind of had that interesting look. I'm gonna practice the symbol. So we've got some regular printer paper. Okay, I'm not actually going to be doing this. This is kind of like the scratch paper. So because it is difficult to do, because there's no erasers. I got to do it the entire symbol perfectly in one go, which means I'll probably go through 8 or 9 of these, just playing with it, just to figure out what I like, and then I get to use the expensive paper. So I'm even going to be using one of my cheaper brushes here. So I've got my grinding stone here. As I said, I am not an expert in this. I took one class in a Buddhist temple in Sacramento several years back. I am far from an expert in this whatsoever, but I love doing it. It's so much fun. So this is ink, actually. It's solid ink, and I'm going to grind it down. Now, I do recommend that if you're actually interested in Sumi, take a class. Don't use me as an expert, because I'm not. Please go and actually take a class. I know that there's some Buddhist temples in Sacramento that teach it. It is definitely worth it. It's really, really relaxing. So what I'm doing is I'm grinding down the ink with a little bit of water. I'll take my brush and then mix it a little bit. I'm going to get some little scratch paper here. And it's my cheap brush. It came with the kit. So I'm just going to see if I like the... Okay. That's nice. So I'm just going to do a circle here. See? Think circles would be easy. Okay, I do like how the consistency of the ink is going. So I'm going to try. So what I'm trying to get is these, I'm sure you've seen these little lines when you do the little curve and it has like the brush stroke, you can actually see the individual hairs. That's what I'm after. Which, by the way, I've tried doing this digitally. It doesn't work. Not the way I want it. Okay, so I'm going to try it. Okay, so I like that. Now, I wanted to have the target look like kind of like a target, but not like crosshairs. I didn't want it to be a symbol that represent like a gun, but I do like the idea of a circle and some sort of crosshairs, but I want it to not feel like it's a weapon, even though in this card game it would. About 20 more to go. So that was the one with, let me give you, okay, so what I'm actually looking for is I'm looking where, see how it splits up there? Okay, so that kind of feel. Now when I use it on the expensive paper with the really nice brushes, that's going to even be more prominent. Printer paper is horrible for this, but it's good to get the technique down. Because once I do get the way I like, I've got to do it like 8 or 9 times, because when I use the expensive paper, I don't get a second chance. Well, okay, I do, but I have to use another sheet of paper. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I went back on that, and you're not supposed to. It's supposed to be one stroke. So there's another feel for it. I haven't decided whether or not I like that yet. I'm going to try a variation of this. As I said, these are not actual symbols. So it's just whether or not I like it or not. And I'm deliberately trying to avoid doing any symbols that I do know. Okay, let's try this again. I like the feel of the circle though. I had to go back. Okay, now let's try it with triangles. That kind of gives me the feel of radioactive. Not quite what I'm looking for. So part of this is just the process of going through and finding what I like and what I don't like. So as you can see, those are the lines that I'm looking for. I'm looking for that brushstroke. I'm looking for that organic feel. So now we're going to try it on the expensive paper. I am not going to get it right the first time. I said this is a lot harder than it actually looks. So I'm going to actually split the paper in half. Okay, let's see if I can do this. And that's why it's expensive paper. The way this grabs the ink is really, really different. It's just like the lightest touch, and it absorbs it, and it doesn't. The ink behaves differently on this kind of paper. I mean, you can practically, well, you can see through it. It's very, very thin. So if your folks are interested in seeing more of what I've done, go to jackmonkeygames.com, check out the blog. We've got, if you like role-playing games, we've got the roll versus roll cards that we've already published. We're pretty happy with those. But if you like board games, take a look at Invoke and sign up for our newsletter, because we are going to be asking for playtesters soon. where we're going to be sending print and play copies of the game for you to test out, so you can give us some feedback. So if you're signed up through the newsletter, which is how we're going to be sending out invites, that's how you can get it. Let's see if I can do this. Now, I like this one because, see at the ends here, I paused just for a brief moment, and it adds a little bit to that organic feel. I really like that. I'm going to try and keep this one. And now looking in the phone, I can see that I didn't quite get it even enough. So I'm going to try this again one last time before I let you folks go. And I'll see if I can reproduce that. I also want to get that same feel up here. And I'm really liking this one, but it's not quite even. So I want an organic feel, but I also don't want it sloppy. Okay, I like that one. I think we have a winner here. Okay. If I didn't know better, I'd say I was stalling to show you guys. So, there we go. So now I'm going to go photograph it, and then from the photograph, I'm going to go and Photoshop it and such. And in fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, go to jackmonkeygames.com, subscribe to my newsletter and my YouTube channel, and you'll see the rest as what process I go through this. Thank you very much. Have a great day.